Hi there. How are you today? This is Mary Schiller, author and coach of maryschiller.com. And as I am talking to you, I am live in my free Facebook group, The Healthy Wealthy Coach. So if you happen to join me live, that's awesome. Just let me make a note here. Hi, Erna. Type a comment anytime because I love to see your comments while I'm chatting with you. And if you're watching this on the replay, of course, feel free to comment because I will be checking back. And I want to say that I have really been enjoying the conversations we've been having in here the past few days. This is the third in a series of Facebook Lives that I am doing, all about the shifts that I believe are required to becoming a healthy, wealthy coach. Very quick recap. The first shift was that we have to actually decide that that's what we want to do, that we want to be a healthy, wealthy coach. And as I mentioned in that video, hi Marina, that decision doesn't need to take a lot of effort. And so if you didn't see that one, please go back and watch that. And again, post comments or questions right on the video. The second shift had to do with living the impact and the transformation that you want to help other people achieve. And somebody in the comments, it might have been Birdie, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting, said, you know, it's not about teaching, it's about living. It's about living what you do, not just teaching it to other people. And part of that for me, and what I talked about in that Facebook Live, was stepping up into the leadership role, because that seems like an essential part of becoming a healthy, wealthy coach, is recognizing that you are a leader. Do I have lipstick on my teeth? Let me just check. In any case, I am back with you for the third shift to becoming a healthy, wealthy coach. So are you ready? Drum roll, please. And before I say what this is, I'm going to preface it by saying that I get a tremendous amount of pushback when I talk about this with people. And it's probably, if I look back on all of the years that I have been talking with coaches, or even just, you know, any type of solopreneur, but especially coaches, this particular topic of conversation is so charged for people and is so fraught with all kinds of anxieties and fears and all kinds of things. And yet, to me, it is crucial. And to be very stark about this particular shift is 100% essential. In my opinion, I will take ownership of this, in my opinion, if you want to be a healthy, wealthy coach. There's no two ways about this. And before I tell you what it is, I will also mention that I realized this particular shift very early on in my business. In fact, right from the get-go, when I first started charging for my coaching, this was very apparent to me. So are you ready to hear what it is? You have to recognize and act like coaching is a luxury profession. You have to understand, in my opinion, that coaching is a luxury profession and should be priced accordingly, and we need to act accordingly as well. So what do I mean by a luxury profession? That we need to understand that coaching is a luxury profession. Well, the fact of the matter is, nobody needs coaching. It's not a need to have thing. It just isn't. I know many of us who are in the coaching world and have been in this conversation for a long time around coaching can start to see, hi Lynn, can start to believe that coaching is a necessity, but it simply isn't. Even business coaching is not a necessity. It's a nice to have, but you can develop a business without hiring a business consultant or coach. You can do it. But I'm talking about every type of coaching. Life coaching, to me, health coaching, all of it. It's a luxury profession. It is not a must-have. It's not like water. Okay, water is a must-have. A lot of things are must-haves. Coaching is not. Hi, Ellie. Coaching is not a must-have. It's not even in the same category to me as something like traditional mental health therapy. You know, it's not like that. It is a completely separate type of profession. It's not something that people need. And so that's only one feature of it to me that makes it a luxury profession. And probably one of the biggest factors that sets it apart for me in terms of where it falls on the spectrum of luxury is that, especially if we're talking about anything that involves your actual time as a coach, so meaning any groups that you lead, or certainly any one-to-one coaching that you provide, or even things that have, you know, certain components that you put together, like an online component, and then you have some live training along with it. All of that is completely customized to people. You have analyzed what people need. Even in a group setting, you have analyzed what these people need, and you have created something specifically to address their needs and problems and facilitate transformation. This couldn't be any more true in one-to-one coaching. You think about a one-to-one coaching session with somebody. What does that actually involve? You know, that to me is the ultimate in luxury, is being able to hire someone who is going to listen to me and to my specific needs and my specific questions, and is going to, you know, work with me to transform something in my life, whether it's a life change, business change, whatever it might be. I mean, how could you get any more luxurious than that? Particularly if it's over a longer period of time. And since I'm on that topic, I will share something that I find astonishing, which is that a lot of coaches will discount their rates the longer somebody works with them. Think about that for a second. They are paying for more luxury, yet they're receiving a discount. How does that compute? They are utilizing more of your time. Not only that, but you are committing to them for a longer period of time, and yet somehow that seems like it should be discounted. To me, it seems like it should be worth more. The same is true, I have seen this over and over again, where people will take a short amount of time with someone to get them results, and they think that that should be cheap. Well, if you can help someone achieve some kind of transformation in a short amount of time, then that is worth a lot to people. And all of this pricing confusion in particular, to me, can be solved very easily by seeing that coaching is a luxury profession. Repeat after me. Coaching is a luxury profession. If you're watching me live, type it in the comments. Coaching is a luxury profession. It should be priced accordingly, and we as coaches need to act accordingly. What do I mean by act accordingly? Well, we need to be professional. We need to see what we are doing as a professional luxury business. And I know I'm hearing, you know, in my mind right now, I'm hearing pushback from people watching this. But the coaches that are struggling are the ones who continue to give away their coaching for free, who charge such low fees that they can't even begin to break even. They're way, way, way in the red, in the hole. And it's because they are not seeing the true value of coaching. Now, I have paid luxury prices for coaching over these past few years. And I have paid luxury pricing for that coaching because I see the value of it. And I'm willing to make that investment because I know what that person has invested in themselves to get to that level. And I know what it's worth. Even if you are a new coach, you aren't an amateur, okay? You need to see yourself from the beginning as a professional who can charge professional luxury pricing for what you do. Now, of course, if you are already wealthy and don't need to do this for the money, you may have a different perspective, but that is not the majority of the people that I work with. The majority of the coaches that I support want to earn a great living, meaning, anywhere up into the six figures and beyond. They would be very, very thrilled to make $100K a year. And to me, that's totally doable. If I can do that, pretty much anybody can do that. But what is going to get you to that level is this particular shift, which is seeing that what you do is a luxury purchase. And, if you aren't listening to me anymore, if you've tuned out, I would love for you to watch the replay of this and really look at this in relation to what you're doing. I'm going to say something else here that may be very controversial, but I need to say this, is that when coaching gets priced at these super duper low rates, it just brings the whole profession down, in my opinion. It makes it look like coaches are amateurs who don't know what they're doing, who, are not professionals, who don't actually have a business to run, because business makes money. That's the definition of a business, is it makes money, it makes a profit, it turns a profit. And if that's not happening, then there's no business, And so, when I see coaches pricing what they do at such a low level, it harms not just them and their bottom line, but it seems to cast a pall over the entire profession of coaching. And I don't want to see that, because I have benefited so much from this profession, as I have mentioned to you. I think it's one of the greatest things that has ever been invented in terms of a profession. I wish that it had been around sooner, or that I had been aware of it sooner, because I think my whole life would have been different if I had been able to work with a specific type of coach much earlier in my life, instead of going some of the traditional routes. And so if you really do want to be the healthy, wealthy coach, meaning you want a healthy lifestyle, you want one that doesn't force you to have to work and work and work and work and constantly struggle. To me, that's the health part. And the wealth part is recognizing that you provide a luxury service. You are helping people on an individual level in a way that no one else can, frankly. Nobody else can help them the way that you do. Lots of times I've told people that because I've experienced this as a client and as a coach, that you may be the only person in the world that person on the other side of the Zoom or phone or table or whatever, you may be the only person in the world who's really listening to them, who is really giving them your full attention, and who is really willing to do what it takes to help them. They may not have anyone else in their life doing that. And you need to think about these things. You need to think about the fact that you have gotten to where you are through a lot of your own efforts. And gosh, I just hate to see people discounting their life experience, whatever training they've received, years of self-reflection and all of the skills that you bring to the table, and then, charging somebody $20 an hour or $30 an hour. That just makes no sense to me. That is not what coaching is, in my view. It just isn't. And I think it's why so many coaches struggle, frankly, is that they are in a story, they're seeing a story that says they can't charge for what they do, or they shouldn't charge very much because, maybe what they're offering, it might be freely available somewhere else, so they don't feel right about charging. Or I've heard all kinds of stories about why people don't want to charge for what they do, or they want to keep it low. And none of that makes sense to me at all. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. It's really not, to me, it is really not valuing this as a profession. And if this isn't a profession that you value enough to put an appropriate price on, and to adopt the behaviors of a professional coach, then perhaps it isn't the right profession, which is totally okay. There's millions of other things that we can do with our lives. Or we can, do as I did when I was working in a full-time job. I just had random conversations with people. I wasn't thinking of being a professional coach. I just had something really cool that I thought would help them. And I would hand out books, not my books, but other people's books. And I'd say, hey, why don't you read this book? And then we'll chat about it. That's all fine. It's fine to do that. But don't do that and then say you're a professional coach, because those two things don't mesh. A professional coach behaves like a professional and charges professional level prices. I had a conversation with a client a while back, and we were going back and forth about price. If this particular person is watching, they'll know. And I said, there are certain prices that if I see them on someone's website, I think they don't know what they're doing. I think they're not professional. And they were kind of not arguing with me, but we were having a friendly debate about it. And then a little while later, this person came back and said, you know what? I saw that very thing. I was reading through somebody's sales page, and it was all these wonderful things they were going to include. And I got to the price and it was so low. I thought, do they even know what they're doing? And I said, exactly. Because whether we want to admit this or not, in the world in which we're living, price means something. It indicates quality. I have seen this over and over again with people I actually know personally who are coaches, and I know what they're capable of, and I see the prices that they are charging, and I have literally, I'm not joking, I have literally cried and thought, this is just wrong. It's just wrong that somebody with this amount of I don't know, beauty and transformation and change and care to give to the world thinks that they're only worth this much in terms of a monetary figure. It's just heartbreaking to me. Coaching is a luxury profession. It needs to be priced that way, and we need to act that way. I'm not saying we need to all go out and buy yachts and start posting photos of ourselves on the beach. That's not what I'm talking about. But when you adopt this stance, as it were, of I am a professional coach, I am in a luxury profession, and I charge X, meaning a good amount of money that's going to help you reach your goals and signal that you are a pro who knows what you're doing, everything changes. That's why I have made this one of the shifts. I mean, I'm curious to know at this point, I'm just about to wrap this up, if you are seeing what I'm talking about or if it doesn't seem right to you. Because I've had this back and forth with a lot of people. What I can tell you for certain is that if like I said in the first shift, you have made a decision that this is what you want to do as your profession, and this is something you want to go forward with. And if, as I said in the second shift, you're ready to step up into this kind of leadership role and really live this impact, then this third shift of seeing the true value of what you do, acting accordingly and pricing accordingly, it just has to happen. It just has to happen. One thing that people say is, well, you know, I want to help people who can't afford my services. What if people can't afford what I do? Well, here's what I'll say. There are lots of coaches out there who aren't hearing this message and are charging next to nothing. Those people can go to them, okay? And that may sound harsh, but that's the reality. And I'm going to give you two other realities. You don't have to be the affordable coach. You don't have to be the affordable coach. You can give people other things that they can access for a low price or no price. You know, I have 11 books out there. I hear from people all the time who read my books and get benefit from them. They cost like $4.99, $4.99 or something, okay? You can do things like that, but you do not have to be the affordable coach who charges next to nothing for their services, their one-on-one services, and is in credit card debt up to your eyeballs because you can't pay your bills. You don't have to be that. When you start charging more, you are able to serve people at a much higher level. You're able to take better care of yourself in every single way. And eventually, you can offer people a scholarship or something along those lines, people who wouldn't necessarily be able to pay for what you do. I'll say something else, is that oftentimes people will say they can't afford you, but you'd be amazed at what people can do, the resources they can come up with when they really want something. So that's something to consider too. So this has been a bit of a tough love shift here, and I really do appreciate your listening and watching this video today. So please let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. So type them into the comment box. And if you want to send me something personally because you don't feel like sharing it publicly in the group, just email me, mary@maryschiller.com. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.